yes, you don't know exactly when that value is coming, but the value that you get is free. When it's lost between day and night or night and day, you just get the data life in blue. And you get to keep this one in around. You don't have to sacrifice it for $9. Now, should this lesson be played in 17% exactly, I mean, there really is.
See it?
Oh, well, now I see it. What happened?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out because I want to be nosy.
Block of each number, one of two colors, and you can pay 4 of either their colors and have to sacrifice that to roll your car. Again, you have to actually pay mana into
God, I keep hitting all these red lights.
So you're losing your ramp to roll those cars. Whereas again, the Knight for the Celestis is just free. Now the closest comparison to the Celestis is the Midnight Clock. It temps for blue and it has been tuned to blue, but it's our counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of
Oh my God!
Whoa!
That's a YouTube video.
Oh, whoa.
Woo! Holy shit!
What happened?
So, like the Celestis,
Oh, whoa!
Oh my God!
The heck?
No, alright, we gotta stay because I got the dash cam for it.
But again, a difference between the two cards is that you actually lose Midnight Clock. In fact, it gets exiled, so you can't get it back. Regardless, again, when it comes to mana rocks that give you extra utility, Midnight Clock gives you a good amount of utility. Like
That was just in
No,
time.
Midnight Clock doesn't help you fix your mana. Again, it just taps for blue instead of 1 mana of any color like the Celestis does. Next up, another somewhat comparable card
Fun
is
anyone?
Pristine.
You have reached the 911 emergency line for the city of Henderson. Please do not hang up. Henderson 911, what is your emergency?
I'm on the corner of Boulder Highway and Warm Springs at the intersection, and there was just an accident.
Okay. Is it on Boulder or on Warm Springs?
It's like on the intersection, on Boulder and Warm Springs, like where it crosses.
The phone number you're calling from? Thank you. Does it seem like medical's needed?
There's people, they got out of their cars, so I'm assuming they're okay, but I can't be sure.
How many vehicles are involved?
There's just 2.
Okay, one moment for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull off because I have my dash cam footage, so I'll give that to whoever.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And what's the color, make, and model of the first vehicle?
It's silver. I can't tell what make it is. And then the other ones,
Car, truck, SUV?
oh, they're both sedans.
Perfect, thank you. Versus a what? What's the second vehicle?
The other one's kind of a dirty brownish gold. I can't really tell for sure.
Okay, and it's a sedan?
Yeah, they're both sedans.
Okay, 1 second. Alright, and are they causing a block in traffic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of the car, yeah, it's like total. It's like in the middle of the intersection.
Okay. Alright, and what is your name? And you're gonna stand by?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by.
What's the color, make, and model of your vehicle?
Oh, my vehicle is a silver Nissan Rogue.
Can you just tell everybody to put on their flashers and to stand clear of approaching traffic?
Oh, I'm inside my car. I haven't even gotten out yet. I pulled over
Okay,
for it, so.
Okay, not a problem. Can you just put your flashers on?
Yeah, my flashers are on.
Okay, not a problem. If anything gets worse or they need medical, call me back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So to make a long-winded story relatively short, the dude left. He fled, which was really bizarre. And if you want to know the rest of the story, keep watching. So I had every intention of pulling over, calling the authorities, and the guy that made the left turn and hit the woman that ran the red light, I was hoping to help a brother out. You know, I was thinking, oh, this was not his fault at all, and I have evidence of it. I'm also a witness myself. Hey, let me help someone out. Let me give some, good vibes to the universe. And at the same time, I had picked up my son from school. He's in the car with me. So it's like, it's a win-win overall. I get to be a good Samaritan and at the same time, show my son, hey, this is how you're supposed to interact in society. These are beneficial good things of you being a contributing member of the nation and all that jazz. So I get out of the car and I walk over and I look at everything, and the guy was nowhere to be found. And I'm like looking for him, and there was that dude on the bike that was talking with the girl, like trying to calm her down, see what was going on. At the time, he didn't know that she had ran a red light, because just from the timing of him coming up, it had already happened. And he saw her out there all frantically crying. She's on the phone. I guess she was calling her dad or something. And I'm looking around like, hey, where's this dude at? And the guy told me, like, yeah, this dude, he went to his car, as you see in the video. He ran back to his car, and what he was doing was he was getting, like, tools. He got a hard hat, a bag of some tools, a whole bunch of crap, that, like, necessary things for work, I guess, and took off. And I didn't know that. And then when he told me that, and I was looking down, and I saw the guy walking, and I was like, all right, let me call the cops again and let them know. And I even told the bike dude, I was like, this was really funny because it's her fault. She ran a red light. I mean, this is why I pulled over. I've got dash cam footage to prove it. And he was like, no way. And, I mean, I feel bad for the girl. She's relatively young. She's in college, and, she was, the excuse that she had given is that she was on her way to work and she was already running late. So, I mean, that's what happens when you rush. I mean, it's extremely unsafe. And then if anything, you're actually going to be even later than you initially planned to be. So that's why I try to drive relatively safe, and a lot of people like to tailgate me because I like to go the speed limit because I don't want to put myself or my family at risk, or anybody else. So I call the cops back and I give them more info. I'm like, oh, by the way, that guy left. Here's his description. I don't know where he went, but he headed off in this direction. Around the same time, a few blocks up down the road was a pretty massive fire, and there was a whole bunch of first responders there. It was actually not funny in a ha-ha way, but in like a WTF way. There were multiple cops that came through the intersection and just moved around the car that was in the middle of the intersection. And I was thinking to myself, like, really? But at the same time, there's a fire down there. I don't know. I don't know how, like, the dispatching works and all that. It's beyond me. So as I'm there, waiting, because I'm going to, file a witness statement, for whatever. And the girl's father showed up. I basically told him what had happened and what, like, yeah, I saw it happen, and it's just funny that the guy left. I mean, it sucks to say, but your daughter ran the red light, and I don't know what else to tell you. This accident was her fault. The funny thing is, it's so weird and shady and sketchy that the guy that was in the right, wasn't breaking the laws, wasn't disobeying traffic laws or anything like that, made his left turn, girl blows a red light, hits him, he runs to check to make sure she's okay, goes back to his car, gets his shit and leaves. There was a reason why he left. Either the car was stolen, maybe he was under the influence of something, maybe he had warrants out for him. It could have been any number of things. I'll never know, and I kind of want to. But, it just is what it is. Chop that up to one of the grander mysteries that will fill the voids in my mind. So the girl's dad, while we're waiting for the cops to show up, which was a while, I don't think that any cop actually came and stopped until like maybe 20 or so minutes after that the incident happened. Traffic was already pretty hectic because of the fire further up the block, even more so because on the corner of Boulder and Warm Springs, if you're familiar with the Henderson area, and oh boy, it was a mess. Yeah, so her dad was like actively trying to convince me to leave. He kept saying stuff like, oh, I'm sure you got stuff to do. I'll just take your information down. And I kept saying, no, I'm good. I'm perfectly fine waiting. I got the dash cam footage. I'm going to, put it over to whoever. And once again, I don't know the entirety of this story from their end, so it's just up to speculation. I think the reason why he was so adamant to try to convince me to leave was so that I could not provide a witness testimony, a witness statement, or give over my dash cam footage. Because just, judging a book by its cover, young girl, really, really nice car, dad, well put together man, driving a nice vehicle as well. Accident's her fault. He tries to tell me to leave. What ultimately makes sense from my brain is that daddy's flipping the bill for most of this stuff and or has a lot of the vehicle and insurance under his name, and that doesn't look good on his end. His insurance premiums might go up. There's a good chance the car was going to be totaled. I mean, it totaled out, because of the damages to it. But that's the thing, man, is I was super adamant. And yeah, it was kind of like, did I have other better things I could be doing with my life? Absolutely, 100%. But I was in one of those situations where I can't leave, especially having my son in the car and being a witness. I have to be an example for this kid. I have to show him how we interact with society. So that's why I wasted that portion of my Friday and a little bit of my life to instill good values in him. I probably, in retrospect, should have told the dad that. It's like, well, I've got my son here with me, and, I got to teach him the right thing to do, and this is the right thing to do. Had I known that, no, I still would have done the right thing regardless. But, yeah, I know I wasn't wrong in any capacity, even though, it was her fault. What else can I say? Do I feel bad for the girl? Absolutely. She put herself in a really shitty position. But that's as far as my sympathies go. It's like, yeah, sucks to be you, but you caused this. This whole thing could have been avoided if you would have just stopped at the light when it was red, but you decided not to. The universe has laws of cause and effect. You take an action, there is a reaction, be it positive or negative based on your perspective. Actions have consequences. Now, one of the other things too is, and I'm just going to throw this out there, obviously you can hear in the video my immediate reaction. Let me tell you why I reacted the way that I did. You see, car accidents are nothing to laugh about. They're nothing to get excited about in a joyous manner. Multiple times in my life have I been sucked into the YouTube rabbit hole just to be directed to car crash / road rage compilation videos. And they're shocking. And it's like the old saying about a train wreck. It's hard to take your eyes off of it. Oh my God. Is it sweet to witness it firsthand and then have dash cam footage of the event happening so you can relive that moment of your life. I was there. I saw this happen, and I have this story to tell. So that's where my rush of excitement came from. There's the fact where it's this part of life that happens all over the place, all the time, but you're never really there to see it. I'm always on the road seeing the aftermath, seeing an accident after it already happened. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, man. I hope everyone's okay. Look at that. That was a wreck. But to see it firsthand, I can't tell you, there was my shock and all of that when it happened. That was all trumped by the tremendous joy of actually being able to be there in that moment. So I had my initial yippee reaction and then immediately called the authorities. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. And thank God no one, as far as I know, got drastically hurt. Both people were able to get out and walk in their cars. The girl did have a scrape on her leg. It wasn't bleeding or anything like that, but it, this top layer of dermis was scuffed up. So that's the story. Ultimately, though, I'm torn between the idea of the guy in this car that took off, and I'm wanting to know about that. What's all the sketchiness? Why did the guy leave? There has to be some sort of reason why he would just fucking book it and leave the car there. Obviously, if it's his own and it's registered to him, he's gonna get in trouble for it. And then I also kind of want to know what's the deal with the dad and that whole family situation. Obviously he was pressing pretty hard to try to convince me to leave, and he brought it up multiple times. He would walk back to me sitting in the car with Mike just to try to once again convince me to get out of there. What's the deal with that? I mean, I have my own speculations, but you know, I kind of have a hunger for the truth. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little slice of my life with the universe. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I'm your oh so glorious and beloved Mace Valor, signing off.